Hello everybody, I am Jmulls of Jmulls Gaming, and we need to talk about some Warhammer 40k, specifically Space Marine 2, because it's a pretty dang good game if you can't tell. I've been playing it since it kinda came out, and as someone new to Warhammer 40k to begin with, this was really my first foray into the universe, and what an amazing first impression it left. I beat the campaign on the second hardest difficulty, been replaying it with a buddy of mine, good god, it's co-op fun in this game. And in a lot of ways, this game specifically reminded me of the era of gaming that I grew up in, that late 2000s, early 2010s shooter craze. The story in the campaign's nothing particularly to write home about, but it does get surprisingly competent near the end, and the set pieces, and the weapons sandbox, and the enemy variety make the campaign feel fun and fulfilling. I've always heard about Warhammer 40k, right, but I've never really dove into the franchise before, mainly because most of the games that exist for 40k never really spoke to me, and I never really had much interest in, besides Space Marine 1, but I never got around to that game. With Space Marine 2, yeah, there is some context that you don't have if you haven't played Space Marine 1, but one of the biggest takeaways I've gotten out of this game is that it relies on Rule of Cool and does it exceptionally well. Oh, we're going to introduce to you the hammer as a weapon. Now, we could just give you a hammer and call it a day, or what we could do is give you a jump pack to coincide with that, and give you map design that really works and synergizes off the weapon sandbox we provide to you. It works so well and just makes these moments, when paired with how cool all the environments are, it makes you feel like a badass space marine taking on the hordes of chaos or tyranids. And it works so well. It's adrenaline fueled and action packed in all the right ways. Quite simply, it's dumb fun. And looking ahead to the roadmap of content to come in this game, even within the remainder of this calendar year, it's very promising. Because if there's any kind of critique mainly you can level at this game, and that I'm going to level, it's kind of the lack of content on day one, mainly when it concerns anything not the actual campaign. See, I've been mainly playing two things, either the main campaign or the main campaign co-op. I haven't done the actual PvE co-op missions, which are separate, like, operations, and I've been playing a lot of the PvP, and I've been really enjoying the PvP, but a bulk of my issues with this game do come from the PvP. Now, the PvP is really fun. It's way simple, and I think it works because of that. I can just go in, turn my brain off, have some fun shooting or using my abilities with the various classes, which I like in this game. I've been mainly playing as either Bulwark or Vanguard, and I've been really enjoying playing as them, particularly Vanguard lately. And Space Marine 2 kind of passes the initial check that I have with a lot of multiplayer games. Do you have a rock-solid gameplay loop that I want to get better at, and that I want to continually play because of just how fun that combat loop is? I think Space Marine 2 nails that, and I've seen some sentiment going around that the time to kill is too short in the PvP. I kind of like it. It's fast enough, it's quick enough to where no engagement really drags out or anything, and with the actual pace of the gunplay and the melee and all of that, and the actual objectives, I think the time to kill works for the most part. And funnily enough, my only major issues with the PvP are the accoutrements surrounding the actual gameplay, because I really do enjoy that gameplay. But I think having only 3 maps at launch is a travesty. My opinion, this game needed like 9 or 10. 3 is way too few, and I know we're gonna get more in the roadmap, but again, to me, you need way more than just simply 4 to 6. You need more than that, because I've been playing the PvP for quite a bit, and these maps are already getting kind of old, though I do like how they're designed. Lots of flanking routes. I like how there's a good sense of height throughout many of these maps, which really works with some of the class design, like Assault and Vanguard. There's areas where you can like lay back and snipe from for the sniper class, or nice little corners you can really hold the line if you're playing as Bulwark. And it does feel as if the map design was designed with the idea of the classes in mind, and it makes it work better because because of that. The problem is, with there only being 3 maps, I always play these 3 maps, so I know these 3 maps, I want something new. Variety is the spice of life. There are only 3 game modes as well. They're good ones at least. Again, very simple objectives like either hold a location, hold a couple locations, or just kill everybody. Could use a few extra ones like capture the flag would go hard here in my opinion, though it's possible because of classes like Assault or Vanguard that it could just be too easily cheesed, and maybe that's why they didn't include it. It's a possibility, but it could also just be dumb fun and maybe just say screw it, do it anyways. I would like more modes, but I think the bigger offender here is the lack of map variety. And this is more so a me thing because I think one of the really cool elements of 40k is the roleplay so far, and like picking your faction, customizing your guy, and really leaning into the RP in that regard. And I didn't know who I really gravitated to when I first started this game. I have now since like fully doubled down on Blood Angels. I think they're so cool. Blood Angel through and through for me. But if I have to play as Chaos because one of the teams in PvP will always be Chaos, I would prefer to be World Eaters because of the red aesthetic. I like the idea of the Lord of Blood Corn, but my main is Bulwark, so I have to play as a walking sack of pestilence and poxes. And I know they talked about adding some more customization for the Chaos Space Marines later down the line, which is cool and all that, but I don't know if it's just bad luck on my part or if there's maybe a setting I'm just not seeing, but it seems as if almost every match that I have, I play as Chaos. And it kind of feels worse. Like, they have that cool factor, right? But because you don't get to customize them really at all, outside of, like, maybe the color scheme, but they don't get any armor customization right now. You can't even pick your Chaos Space Marine faction to play as the class you want. Like, Bulwark is following Nurgle. Vanguard is following Khorne. The others are whatever. So in a game that is so heavily reliant on the customization, on the RP, on picking your faction, like RPing as them, and that stuff is really fun. When you're doing PvP at least and you're constantly getting Chaos, it takes the wind out of the sails for me because they just don't have the same level of love and care in this game as do the Adeptus Astartes. I'll be very interested to see what comes next for this franchise, because I think this is a really good formula and blueprint to take into the future. I would love to see more Space Marine games like this, and I haven't even dove into the PvE co-op missions yet. This is a game without a lot of filler or fluff. It doesn't feel as if things were just haphazardly thrown into the experience to bloat the playtime. You kind of just go in, do what you want, take what you want out of the game, and then you're good. And honestly, it's pretty refreshing. And as someone who has become very pessimistic about the state of modern multiplayer games, Warhammer 40k, even without the amount of content that I would like to see, has been a breath of fresh air for me. Has been a joy to play, and something I just like to dive into every now and then, because I simply like being in the game. And I would love to see more games like this in the future that give us a more visceral experience in 40k, that are easily able to capture the grandeur and majesty of the grim dark future here. And with the lore of 40k being as rich and interesting as it is, I would love to see other perspectives in future Space Marine games. I would love a game where we play as like the Blood Angels or something. This IP has so much potential when it just comes to really cool and interesting games. And if Space Marine 2 is any indication for the future, then sign me up. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe. Have a great day. I'll see you all next time. Leave a comment down below with your chapter. Who do you rep in Space Marine 2 or 40k, the tabletop game if you play? Love to hear your thoughts, hear your opinions, and to hear your armies. Stay safe. Have a great day. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again.